Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
April.
What is up, Tailgaters? It's your host, Rick Butts, here with Bryce Frazier. Sorry about week 5. We had some, well, Bryce had a wedding, and then I had some last-minute stuff come up, so we didn't stream last week, but we're back, and we're ready to rock and roll. So you guys know how Sunday mornings work. You ask questions, we answer them. As the morning progresses, we'll talk about some of the injury reports that come in when we find out some guys are in or out, and if you have start sit questions, DFS questions, whatever it is, we are here to help. But first, Bryce, Sunday morning, how you doing?
Great. It's going to be good to see the Patriots play again. It feels like I haven't seen them play in forever, but I'm excited to be back on the stream for sure.
It kind of feels the same way for me too, just because the Bears played on a Thursday night and then had that extra 3 or 4 days. So 4-1 though, I can't really complain. I was hoping we'd come out of the first 5 games 3-2. Hopefully Nick Foles gets a little bit better after having a little extended time between games, and we can move forward here. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it for sure. How's everybody else out there doing? Tell us in the chat. We want to know. We want to know, how are your leagues going? We're through 5 weeks. You 5-0? You 0-5? Somewhere in between? I've got all of it. I've got all of it.
Right. I think I have everything but 0-5 and 5-0. I think those are my only 2 that I don't have.
You know what? I don't have any 5-0s, but I do have an 0-5, and it's in a league where my roster is actually pretty good. Just been unfortunate, so I'm gonna just tank for Trevor and try to pair him with Joe Burrow in that super flex, and so I'm hoping that I can lose this week, and then there's one guy that has 1 win. I'm hoping he can win so I can get that 2-game spread between us, because then I can keep more pieces. Like, until I get back within 1 game, I don't have to sell off a ton of stuff, but I don't want to lose that week 1 or that number 1 pick. That would be pretty fun to have Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow going into the 2nd season of a dynasty. That's for sure. Especially one that costs a decent amount of coin.
Right.
Maybe we'll make our trade here on air today, because we've been talking trade in that league. And maybe we can hash that out here on stream. Josh Durazio over on YouTube says Damian Harris or Kenyan Drake. And I have a feeling I know which way you're going to go with this.
Man, that's so hard. Like, I'm a Patriot fan, and I'm not on the Damian Harris hype train. But if you look at Bill Belichick and Nick Saban's relationship, he drafted this guy because he definitely got some insider information. But I think it's only 1 game that Damian Harris has showed promise, and Kenyan Drake has a good matchup, especially with a lot of PPR potential against the Cowboys. I'm barely leaning Drake, but I would not be surprised if Damian Harris outscores him.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time trusting Patriots running backs, and
Agreed.
I want to see that running back do it for a period of time before I start throwing him in my lineups. If I have another option, right? So Kenyan Drake hasn't been perfect this year. There's no doubts about that. But we know he's going to get the rushing work, and they're gonna have touchdown upside in this game versus Dallas. So if he falls in the end zone once, he's not gonna kill your lineup, and I trust that more than I trust running back usage in New England for now. Would you play DJ Shark if he plays, or would you start Jerry Jeudy or T. Higgins?
I'm going to go with DJ Chark if he plays. I don't like Jerry Jeudy's matchup against the Patriots at all. They're good at shutting down teams' best player offensively, and with Noah Fant out, I definitely think they're gonna focus a lot on Judy. And T. Higgins just hasn't been consistent enough for me. DJ Chark he's number one, and he sees the most targets. I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, if he's healthy, I'm throwing DJ Chark in there as well. And then if he ends up sitting and you have to pick one of those two, I'm going Jerry Jeudy just because I think he's the better player. And while the matchup isn't great, I mean Higgins doesn't necessarily have a super great matchup either. So
Right.
I'm going with the better player in that regard. Good morning, Jason and Jurassic Park. That's our boy Craig. He is an IDP legend. How you guys doing? Make sure you get those. Make sure you get those questions down there in the chat. Whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, wherever, we will be answering those. Let's see, who do we have that are big questions for today, injury-wise? So we've got DJ Chark, he's a big one. What else do we have? I'm going to put you in charge of the injuries, Bryce.
Let me look here.
Let's make sure we have those. Craig says DJ Chark dropping those aquatic beats. Baby Shark.
I knew Noah Fant was on it, but then he got put as
he's out
yesterday.
I'm gonna update these while we're talking that. Obviously, Dalvin Cook's out.
Yes, that was pretty expected, I believe. Luckily there's not a lot of big name players today that are on the that were kind of questionable and on the fence today, like there have been in the past. I think Melvin Gordon's out now, correct? He'll probably be out for a while.
Yep.
Because he's going to be seeing a suspension here. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I'm looking here, but
I've got a few of them on there.
Who else you got?
I'm reading a question here. He says Dalvin Cook or CEH, Jonnu and Joey Bosa. PPR non-tight end premium. Let's call Bosa worth a very high second. Dalvin Cook or CEH, Jonnu and Joey Bosa. Non-tight end premium. I mean, I think it's a fair trade. I think you can go either way. I think if you're competing this year, which if it's Paul, so he's probably not, so he probably needs to go CEH, Jonnu, and Joey. That's our homeboy Paul.
Right.
Another IDP legend for the Roto Heat team. So I think it's fair. I don't think it's unfair either way, because if you had CEH valued as a top 6 dynasty asset, like a lot of people did going into this week, and you're dropping him very much because of the Le'Veon Bell signing, then you're really doing a disservice to your teams, because this doesn't end CEH's career. This may end his startable value or the ability to start him comfortably in 2020, but going forward, he's still going to be an NFL asset. So if you're dropping him that much, then you're hurting yourself. DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Robert Woods, Justin Jefferson. We need to sit one of those guys in a PPR league for Sean Dean over on YouTube.
Okay, so obviously you can't sit Calvin Ridley. DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, and what was the last one?
We had Ridley, Moore, Woods, and Jefferson.
I'm sitting Jefferson.
I'm sitting DJ Moore. The Bears just have not given up a lot of points to wide receivers. They're actually getting hurt way more by running backs, as we've seen. Ronald Jones having his career high rushing yards against them. The omission of Eddie Goldman from that defensive line really hurts in the run game for the Bears defense. So Moore could all four of those guys could have a good week this week, but Justin Jefferson gets to play against Atlanta, who gives up the most points to wide receivers, and then we just know that Ridley and Robert Woods in their offenses have the capability of going off. So all four of these guys are great players. I'll lean that way in week 6. Jose over on YouTube says, who do I start for my wide receiver 2? Hardman, Shenault, or Claypool. I also have Gaskin at flex, but do any of those wide receivers replace Gaskin for this week? I'm starting Gaskin in the flex, and I'm only starting one of these wide receivers. For me, I'm going Claypool. I know it seems like chasing points, but Deontay Johnson is out. He is supposed to run alongside Juju in 2 wide receiver sets, so he's going to get run the entire game. Ben Roethlisberger obviously loves him, and we know that this is an offense that can put up points. So I'm going there. Shenault would be my second one. I actually think that Watkins' hamstring injury benefits Demarcus Robinson more, because Hardman's not going to be a volume guy, so he's going to get his shots whether Watkins is in there or not. And then Robinson's going to pick up that PPR role in that offense. So I go Claypool, then Shenault would have been my second, but I'm starting Claypool and Gaskin there. Do you agree with all that?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Claypool. Shenault was a close second though for me.
Yeah, he is a close second. His usage, I would say, if you feel you need floor more than ceiling, I would go with Shenault, because he's getting like 7-8 targets, and getting used in a way where he's not gonna goose egg you. Where Claypool, there is the opportunity that he gets goose egged, but he also has that 40-point upside that we seen last week. So
right.
I would say that if you do need floor more than anything, go Shenault. If you need ceiling, go Claypool. But Claypool's who I would just in a vacuum start. One more, guys. Irv Smith Jr. or Jimmy Graham?
I like Jimmy Graham. I just think he's getting that late renaissance kind of push to his career. He still looks good. He's catching balls one-handed and things like that. He gets a lot of red zone targets. I like, as soon as Nick Foles took over, Allen Robinson and Jimmy Graham's stock went up so high. So it's not like terribly high, but I still like Jimmy Graham, especially against Carolina's defense.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham's usage in the red zone is huge. It's not only elite amongst tight ends, but just pass catchers in general. So when it comes to tight end, especially this year where we've had a lot of variance at tight end, I mean, we saw Kittle get shut down last week when we did not expect it. Jimmy Graham is the play there.
Yep,
I believe as well. Jacob says on YouTube, start Odell or Justin Jefferson in the standard league.
Man, Minnesota does have a lot of touchdown upside this week, but it's hard to bench Odell Beckham Jr., so I'm going to stick with Odell.
I'm going Odell as well. He's just really good. And
yeah,
not that Justin Jefferson's bad, but Odell's just really damn good. Okay, Sebastian over on YouTube says Chark, Boyd, or Freeman in the flex, half PPR.
I'm going with Boyd.
I'm going with Boyd as well. Boyd has a floor and a ceiling in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
He could get freaking 12 targets for 10 catches for 100+ yards and a touchdown, and that's just that's good. The thing that hurts Shark now is that Jacksonville's spreading the ball all over no matter what, right? He hasn't had that
Right.
huge week. Keelan Cole is another guy that has a lot of usage in the red zone. Like, he's been their red zone wide receiver. Plus, Colin Johnson is starting to emerge, and they love him in the red zone. That all hurts DJ Chark's touchdown upside. And we haven't even talked about James Robinson yet, who has been maybe the most pleasant surprise in the NFL thus far. Just a guy that all of a sudden turns into a game-proof monster running back with usage like the guys we love, and that has not helped DJ Shark in 2020.
Right.
Plus, he's coming in off of an injury. In two good matchups, who would you start? Ryan Fitzpatrick or Matt Stafford?
We were just talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick lately. I'm going to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Here's the thing. I love Ryan Fitzpatrick, but they also play the frickin' Jets, and this could be a 24-0 game after one quarter, and then it could be the Myles Gaskin. It could be the three-headed running back monster show from there on with Gaskin, Howard, and Breda all getting work. I do love Fitzpatrick, but this week I think I got to go with with Matt Stafford, and just hope that game stays close, competitive, and they can just go back and forth with some action through the air. So yeah, I'd go Stafford. So we split it. So chat, you gotta help our friend out here and let him know you starting Fitzpatrick or you starting Stafford. Break that tie. Any other questions you got? Drop them in there. Yeah, I need to actually pull this.
Yeah, I have a two-part start sit for you.
All right, we've got a question for the co-host from the co-host.
And a little predicament, so I like the matchup, but we got Jimmy Graham or Hayden Hurst, and then I'll go a second part after that.
Jimmy Graham.
Okay, that's what I got. And then now this is for the last flex spot. I got Hayden Hurst. This is tight end premium. Hayden Hurst, Travis Fulgham, Demarcus Robinson, or N'Keal Harry.
Well, I can tell you this much: I'm not starting Travis Fulgham yet. I'm not
I don't have him
on that bandwagon yet.
Right.
This is probably going to be the Ertz week where he gets 13 targets and catches 11 of them, and then everybody's going to be like, "What happened to Travis Fulgham? Don't you remember Greg Ward? That guy was getting 13 targets for him too." So yeah,
it'd be Robinson, Hurst, or Harry. Yeah.
So I'm not starting Hurst over Robinson or Harry, so that eliminates him.
Okay.
And then this is where it goes for me, right? Robinson plays in the best offense with the best quarterback, and is inheriting a role of a guy that was getting 8 targets a game. So I'm gonna go with him.
All right. I had Harry in, but again,
I think it's close, but we want Harry in games where the Patriots are going to be behind, and I don't see them behind in this game versus Denver, which means that the volume and everything drops, right? And the problem with Harry is there's 2 other guys on this offense that are getting volume right now. Edelman and Bird. So how big is the piece of the pie going to be for Harry? Maybe he gets a touchdown. But do we want to rely on that when Demarcus Robinson could probably get us 8 targets, 6 to 8 targets and have touchdown upside just because he plays for the freaking Chiefs. Let's see, what do we got here? We had a bunch of stuff come in there. And chat, make sure you help out your boy. Bryce needs your help on that one. If I'm wrong, let him know. Can I call you Raj? I want to make sure not to mess up your name. I think it's Rajveer. What's up? Glad to have you. He says he really needs some advice. He said, I got Mike Davis and Todd Gurley starting at running back. Do I start Kenyan Drake, Chase Edmonds, or Phillip Lindsay at the flex? It's a full PPR 12-team league.
I think I like Phillip Lindsay a lot, but I'm gonna wait and see how he comes off this injury. So I'm gonna go with this is a pretty good problem to have though. So I'm gonna go with Kenyan Drake this week. A lot of touchdown upside in this matchup, a lot of PPR potential, and I'm just hoping that Chase Edmonds doesn't vulture some touchdowns from him for this game. Kenyan Drake's gonna get on track eventually, so hopefully it's this week. Hopefully.
I might. Oh man, everybody knows that I'm a Kenyan Drake truther. Most of the underlying stats show that he hasn't been as bad as he's been on the surface. That horizontal offense that they've got going in Arizona doesn't help the fact, but the lack of usage in the passing game is what is boggling everybody's mind. They said they wanted him to be more involved in the passing game, and somehow he's almost non-existent. So that hurts. But Phillip Lindsay hasn't been used in the passing game a lot in his career either. So
right.
I'm still going Kenyan Drake with that touchdown upside, and then just hoping that they finally get their shit together in Arizona. Clayton over on YouTube. Oh, wait. We got to skip ahead a little bit. Remind me to go back to Clayton. Stephen Drake donated $4.99 and said, full PPR, should I play John Brown over DJ Chark this week? I need two, Gurley, Gaskins, and Robinson. So should he play John Brown over DJ Chark?
If DJ Chark's healthy, I think I would lean DJ Chark. Yeah, I'm going to go with DJ Chark.
I'm going on the other side. John Brown in that matchup Monday night. But the problem is that I don't know, and that's when we'll have to look up. Is John Brown back? Do we know John Brown's back this week?
Yeah, that's another thing is
because he's
I don't know
at
how
Monday
he's coming off
night,
this injury.
and let me just do a quick search here. But in that matchup, and the Chiefs have not been the normal Chiefs that give up a lot to the opposition.
Yeah, their secondary is kind of putting it together.
But this is also Buffalo, who has been very, very good thus far this year. Last week was kind of a down week for this offense, but John Brown's going to get targeted if he's healthy. Why is this not showing me anything?
I just read some on NFL and it says he's still questionable, but it doesn't sound like he's going. It sounds like he's going to play, but
okay. So here's what I would say. I think John Brown's the better play, but that risk, I'm probably starting Chark so that I don't lose out on John Brown, unless you happen to have somebody like Gabriel Davis that you can throw in for John Brown if he does sit, because Gabriel Davis has been getting a lot of action when John Brown's out. So that's where I would go there. Then he says I need two of Gurley, Gaskins, and James Robinson. I'm going Gurley and James Robinson.
Yeah, I think you have to. Gurley's been playing really well. He might not get a ton of touches like he maybe used to, but he is so efficient on the touches that he's getting you got to ride the hot hand. He's doing really well. So I thought he would do well this year. Had a lot of redraft value in our redraft stream. I talked about him a lot, but yeah, I'm gonna go with those two as well.
We're on the same page. That's weird.
At least for that one.
But again, thank you, Steven. We appreciate the donation and hope that helps. I know it wasn't clear. You had some, like, literally, I understand why you're asking for those start sit questions.
Yeah.
Chark and Brown are close, and then those three running backs are close as well. Obviously Gaskins has a good matchup, but we talked about this before the stream, right? How much do we trust the Dolphins?
Right.
Just in general, and then running back situation and all that. But Clayton says Ebron or Gesiki this week, and this one is very easy for me.
Yeah, Gesiki. Ebron, even though he gets a decent amount of points, he drops a lot of balls. He's got pan hands. He is horrible, but he's a big body guy that they just keep throwing it to. So he always gets a lot of targets, even though he has a lot of drops. But Gesiki's way more talented, and I'm gonna go with him. He's a guy that I like every week. Seems like.
Yeah, Gesiki is basically used like a wide receiver, and I love that with my tight ends. And great matchup. We got Fitzmagic throwing it to him. I'm going Gesiki as well. I'm just concerned about Drake and Edmonds splitting carries. They're not splitting carries, right? Drake gets a far majority of the carries. Where Edmonds is hurting is in the passing game. Edmonds has been more highly used in the passing game than Drake. But Drake has the most touchdown upside, especially in this matchup this week. Mm-hmm. So I understand the concerns, and I'm a Drake truther. I've been on Drake weeks 1 through 5, but it does hurt for real. And Raj, cool. We can call him Raj, just so you know, Bryce. He gave us permission. Clayton says Sanders, James Robinson, Mostert, Gallaudet, Allen Robinson, Kupp, Fuller, A.J. Brown. Pick 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. So you're probably going to need me to say, okay, so Sanders, James Robinson, Mostert, 2 of those running backs.
I am definitely going Sanders and James Robinson. I just think they get more volume, but what a good problem to have.
Yeah, right? Because Mostert, while he may not get as much volume, averages like 9 yards per carry.
I know.
That dude, I don't know what I say that every week, like in our chats. I'm like, what does Mostert have to do for people to just admit, like, this guy's really freaking good when he stays on the field?
I'm big on Mostert. I love him. Yeah.
You know, wide receiver, came out of Purdue, didn't even get a lot of work at wide receiver, was a great special teams guy, turned into a running back in the NFL, and has literally been one of the most efficient running backs over the last 2 years-ish.
Yeah, he doesn't get tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
No, he is. It's crazy. But I'm going the same route. I'm going Sanders and Robinson at running back. So now we've got Gallaudet, Robinson, and I don't think we have to go any further than that. It's Gallaudet, Robinson, Kupp, Fuller, A.J. Brown, and he needs 2 of those guys. I'm starting Gallaudet and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I am too.
I want to say easily, but I mean, you do have other good players there with Kupp, Fuller, and A.J. Brown. But
it's hard to put Kupp and A.J. Brown on your bench. And then we do get a flex as well.
And that's where it's going to come. So I'm going Gallaudet Robinson. Is that what you're doing?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
So then we've got Mostert, Kupp, Fuller, A.J. Brown, and we need to pick one of those for the flex. I'm going Mostert. I'm going Mostert if I need floor. Right?
Yeah,
because we know he's not going to get. We know he's not going to get goose egged on touches. He's going to get touches, so he's not going to get goose egged this week unless he happens to get hurt on the first play for 0 a 0-yard run. That would be unfortunate,
Right.
but we can't plan for that, right? So that's where I'm going with that. If I need upside, I'm choosing between one of the other three, and that makes it really tough because all
Right.
of them have an extensive ceiling. But what we've seen so far this year is that Fuller has actually had a really good floor. He has
Yeah.
had, I think, 15 points in all but one game, and that was the game where he pulled up in pregame, a little hampered there. So I'm probably starting Fuller if I'm going for upside because we know he's got both the floor and ceiling this year. Where AJ Brown probably, I mean, they all really do, but I'll take that 15 points I'm gonna get out of Fuller at the worst, and that's tough though, Clayton. You got good problems.
Yeah.
First world
All-
problems,
yeah.
first world fantasy problems over here.
You need to be lobbying for more starting spots in the lineup for sure. I think that I'm going to go with my flex spot as I think if I go fly, I'm going to go Mostert. But if I think that A.J. Brown has a good floor and a good ceiling, I know he hasn't really got to prove it much this year, but you literally could throw any guy in there, and it's like you can't go wrong. So that's the good thing. But I just think A.J. Brown has a good matchup, and I believe Corey Davis is still out. He's going to see a lot of him and Jonnu Smith are going to see. Ryan Tannehill might throw the ball, and Jonnu Smith and A.J. Brown might still see 25 targets combined. So I'm going to still go with A.J. Brown, but one of those guys is probably going to still outscore him on your bench.
You're splitting hairs in that argument,
Literally.
really. Like, I don't care if you're talking about running back or the wide receivers. Like, all those players are good plays. Like, I don't feel bad putting any of them in my lineup. Unless I have those other guys that I'm choosing from, and then I never feel good about it until the game's over and I actually put in the right ones. Like, you're probably going to mess it up no matter what you do because any of those guys could be the top scorer. We got a lot of stuff coming in, so we got to stay on top of this. And we got Team Out of Nowhere says start 3 in PPR: Gaskin, CEH, Sanders, JT, Madison, Montgomery, Gibson. This guy has all the running backs.
Yeah.
He just listed 7 of them. Holy shit. He's starting 3.
Okay, so Madison and Sanders for sure. You said who are else in there? There's CEH, Gaskin,
Montgomery, and Gibson.
I think I'm gonna go with. I'm pretty confident in those first 2 to produce. I think it'd be fun to throw in Montgomery because of the matchup this week. I think I'll just go those 3. So Montgomery, Sanders, and Madison for me.
What I would do is trade 2 of these guys and get a monster wide receiver, so I have less problems picking from week to
Right.
week.
No headaches.
I am going Sanders. Oh, I'm going Sanders and Madison, no matter what. Right? It's that third guy that I'm trying to decide from. Who do the Colts play this week?
The Bengals.
Oh, man, that makes everything interesting, right? Because that's a really good matchup for JT.
JT.
I'm going Sanders, JT, and Madison.
Yeah, I'm going to change my mind.
I
didn't think about that matchup. I'm going to go the same.
I think Sanders and JT are the best talents on this list, right? Like, they're the most talented guys.
Right.
And then Madison just has the best usage out of all of them. So I'm going with those 3. I'm going with the 2 most talented and the guy with the best usage. Connor versus Cleveland. Yes. We're not starting Antonio Gibson over Connor, ever.
Right.
Connor is the guy in Pittsburgh, and you want the guy in Pittsburgh for sure. Deep positionless super flex league. We need to pick 3 of these. We have Duke, Fulgham, Zacchaeus, Jeff Smith, and Matt Breida. And I already know one of the guys that I'm playing. After that, it's really tough. I'm starting Jeff Smith.
I picked him up in a lot of leagues.
Jeff Smith's usage has been nuts over the last 2 weeks. Last week it didn't come to fruition, but I believe he caught 3 of 11 targets, and he had 2 red zone targets. So Jeff Smith's getting usage. Then I'm probably going Fulgham because it's likely he's getting usage.
Yeah.
Duke and Zacchaeus are out for me. Breida's probably going to get 5 carries in this game. His usage has been moving up a little bit. So I'm going Fulgham, Jeff Smith, and Breida. Pretty confidently over Duke and Zacchaeus with Julio back. We might be a little bit different if Julio was out again.
Right.
With Julio back, Zacchaeus is out for me, and then Duke is out. So Fulgham, Smith, and Breida for me. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, Fulgham and Smith to me were pretty evident. Like you said, with Julio back, Zacchaeus' usage is going to go down a lot. That'd be a lot easier of a decision if Julio was out or even Calvin Ridley was out. Breida, the Dolphins should be winning this game by 3 scores in the first half. So they might let Breida, like you said, he wasn't getting used at all in these past few weeks. He's been getting more and more touches, and he's pretty efficient on those touches. So he might have that 6 carries and a touchdown for you. So with the deep rosters, I wouldn't feel too bad about putting Breida in my very last spot.
All right. Lockford23 over on YouTube says Freeman or Cooks, full PPR flex.
Cooks. I like. We talked about the Washington front 7; they're the real deal. Cooks with finally getting the usage that we thought he would get, or at least I thought he'd get at the beginning of the season. Started to get it last week. They got a tough matchup against the Titans. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot this week, so I'm going to go with Cooks.
I'm also going with Brandon Cooks in that matchup. Patel, welcome back. You're always here. I'm going. I should probably read the question first, right?
Right, yeah. I was like, all right, well,
answer
yeah.
Screw Bryce, screw everybody else. Nobody cares. I just name a player and say you're welcome. Antonio Gibson, Gallaudet, or Anderson PPR flex. It's Gallaudet for me easily.
Yeah, Gallaudet. I do like Robbie Anderson a lot this year, and he's going to get a lot of targets. But like we talked about, the Bears don't let many points up to wide receivers. This could be what Robbie Anderson's down week. So I'll go with Gallaudet.
I will say, not that it is coming this week, but Anderson is going to have a down week at some point.
Oh yeah, he will for sure.
He's been great, and I love to see it because I've always been a big Robbie Anderson guy, and we continue to see people leave the Jets and then get good, and we like that. So. Math Quest, welcome back. Another loyal listener, watcher, viewer, whatever you want to say. He asked Laviska Shenault or Mikko Hardman 0.5 PPR. Pretty good one for me, or pretty easy one for me here. What do you say?
I think I like Shenault. I think with like we've kind of talked about with the Chiefs, I think that Hardman doesn't see more of an increased role with Watkins being out. I see it more going to Robinson, and I like how many times Shenault is being targeted each game.
I'm going Shenault as well. Mikko Hardman, I think it's a unique thing, right? Everybody thinks Watkins getting hurt just puts Mikko Hardman in the smash spot. I don't think his role changes that much. There is probably going to be an extra shot or two that he gets, but Watkins wasn't being used as the downfield threat. He was the PPR guy out of that wide receiver group.
Right.
And that's why Robinson moves into the Watkins role, and Hardman was going to get his deep shots no matter what, because that's just what type of player he is. His role will expand a little bit, but I think it benefits Robinson way more. So I'm going Laviska Shenault too, especially with DJ Shark hampered up, and the role keeps expanding for Laviska Shenault, and I'm loving it. Sarah over on YouTube says, I need 2 out of David Johnson, Raheem Mostert, Antonio Gibson, and Phillip Lindsay.
I'm going to go with Raheem and Antonio Gibson for this week.
I am doing the same. Yeah. Yep. So Mostert and Gibson, Sarah. Good luck. MathQuest says Andy Dalton or Matt Ryan, standard scoring non-PPR. Andy Dalton.
I think so too. I like Andy.
Fire up the Red Rocket. I think the Red Rocket has a legit shot at being top 6 the rest of the way through. Yeah. This Dallas defense is not good. Now, it's probably going to get better than it has been. Just because history tells us that it's probably going to get better. Because they were, I know going into week 5, they were giving up 3 more points than the worst defense of all time. So it's probably going to get a little bit better. Now, on the flip side, it's still not going to be good. And they're going to throw a lot. And I think this is a close one because Matt Ryan, we're looking at Matt Ryan having 3 straight bad weeks. No Julio Jones, though. Julio Jones is back. I don't see Matt Ryan being that bad forever. I don't think he's just done. I mean, this guy scored like 22 and 25 points the first 2 weeks, and then it's been like around 12 the 3 weeks since. Like, I don't think he just fell off a cliff after week 2. But yeah, I mean, I'm going with the guy that's got 3 all-pro caliber weapons at wide receiver, an all-pro caliber running back, and even a tight end that's played decent, or more than decent, I guess. He's played good with the opportunities that he's got. So they got 5 guys there that have produced this year. So I'm going Andy Dalton. Paul's throwing out snap counts. I don't care about snap counts. You can talk about snap counts all you want. Drake's getting the majority of carries. Edmonds is getting the majority of pass plays. And there's plays where they're both on the field running routes at the same time. So Drake is getting the carries, and that's where the touchdown upside is going to come in for Drake in week 6. Rob says, see, and then he's giving bad advice to people too. You're not starting Lindsay over Mostert. Like, that's not good advice.
No,
don't do
not
that.
This week.
Morning, Rob Sullivan. Rob says Edelman, Landry, or Shenault this week.
It's between Edelman and Landry to me.
Absolutely.
I'm
going Edelman.
I think you have to. He doesn't have a very high ceiling, of course, but he's so consistent with like that. This like 12 to 15 seems like every single week for his whole career. I'm gonna go with Edelman.
Preston Williams or Terry McLaurin? PPR.
Terry McLaurin. He's been super consistent this year, other than last week. I love Terry McLaurin. So I also am an Ohio State fan.
I do too. It's just tough because that quarterback situation.
Right.
We don't know. Kyle.
Is it Kyle Allen or Alex?
Kyle Allen is starting, I believe.
Okay.
Last I heard, Kyle Allen was starting. but I mean,
He was doing good with Dwayne Haskins, so.
yeah, I don't know. That team. So I am starting Terry McLaurin over Preston Williams. I do think that Preston Williams is finally getting his legs under him after his injury last year, and it's funny because this was a big discussion in our Facebook group last week. People were like, "Is Preston Williams done?" And I'm like, "Dude, this dude's less than a year off of this injury that takes 18 months to get fully healthy. Like, give him some time." I remember we had the same conversation about Allen Robinson, right? After he had this injury in Jacksonville, then started his career in Chicago kind of slow. And it's like, watch these guys as the season progresses, and you see them start to move better and better. And it's not just getting full strength back, right? But it's trusting your legs, trusting that it's not going to just pop on you with your movements and everything. So as they get that trust and they start playing faster, you see more production. And Preston Williams looking like he's getting his legs under him the last couple of weeks, and the usage is great. But I'm going Terry McLaurin. He is the premier talent. And we just hope he breaks one of the bad throws that has passed his way.
Right.
Michael over on YouTube says, start one, PPR flex, Odell, Moore, Lamb.
You got to go with Odell, but what a great problem to have. Good Lord.
It's not Moore out of these three this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's between Odell and Lamb. And
yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't fault you, but I'm personally going Odell as well. And Paul is right on this one. Pittsburgh has been getting torched by wide receivers this year. They're not fun to run against, but they have been getting hit by the wide receivers. And then Michael followed up, if he's ruled out, should I go Lamb? And I would say yes. Lamb would be my second
Absolutely.
one. The Bears cornerbacks have played really, really well this year. I'll keep reiterating that. It's flipped from the last couple of years. The last couple of years, you did not play running backs for Chicago. You played wide receivers because the Bears got hit by a lot of yards. They didn't give up a lot of touchdowns because they just haven't over the last couple of years. They don't give up many touchdowns to begin with. After getting rid of Amukamara, and Jalen Johnson, the rookie, has played really, really well opposite Kyle Fuller, who's playing Pro Bowl caliber at cornerback right now. So it's weird because it's flipped. We used to play wide receivers against them. Now we're playing running backs against Chicago.
Right.
Standard scoring. Should I roll with Julio or Hollywood Brown?
Julio.
I will say this. Until proven otherwise, if Julio is active, you're starting Julio Jones. We have to have more than 1 week to say we can't start Julio Jones anymore. Until then, he's a must start in my opinion. And that was for Shade 721 over there on YouTube, and everybody, I want to thank you all for being here this morning. If you would drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. We are here every Sunday morning, except for last week. It's funny that the week after we weren't here, I say every. That was a very odd situation last week of why I didn't go live. But also Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights during the season, and 4 nights a week in the off season. So we are dropping content all the time here on YouTube. We also have the website RotoHeat.com. Make sure to check that out. You can download the app on the Google Play Store and join us on Discord. I will drop that link in the chat right after I ask this next question. But Fanta over on YouTube says, Jerry Jeudy or Deebo Samuel for my flex. What are your thoughts, guys?
I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy.
I'm going with Jerry Jeudy as well. And it's tough. I do like Debo, but here's another guy that we're talking about getting their legs underneath him. We need him to get that done after a slow start to the year. Trying to get this link right so you can join us on Discord. And I'm soundproofing this room this week. Yes.
Are ya?
I've got the stuff ordered, waiting for it to get delivered. This water pump drives me nuts. Okay, where was that question at? It was Judy and Debo was the last question. I dropped the Discord link in the chat. Join that Discord, guys. We have conversation going on nonstop, 24/7, and it's not just about fantasy football. We've got other sports in there. We've got, if you play video games, we've got a video game chat. We've got trading cards. We've got, movies and TV and music and everything. We all hang out. Great group of guys in there talking fantasy, talking entertainment, anything. It's there. Connor over on YouTube says, full PPR, should I play Juju or Mike Evans? And this one's a little bit tougher, I think.
It is, but Mike Evans is getting. I think this game could end up being. They're going to be throwing a lot because Green Bay can score. This game, it's probably the game of the week. I'm assuming. Rodgers and Brady, I've seen they've been playing playbacks on ESPN of their matchups all week. I'm gonna go with Mike Evans because his touchdown upside is so high. They're using him just like I thought they would in the red zone. Brady loves big-bodied guys in the red zone. It used to be Gronk, and now he's not what he used to be. Mike Evans is the guy to catch touchdowns on that offense. So I'll go Mike Evans.
This is where I would have to talk to our guys Paul and Craig. I want to know if, not that Zaire Alexander can shut down Mike Evans, but I want to know if he's going to get shadowed by him. And two, with Deontay Johnson out, Juju's target share is likely to go up. I think this is literally a 50-50 for me. With Godwin back. If Godwin was out, it would be Mike Evans, hands down for me. But with Godwin back, it makes it a lot more difficult. And people forget, Green Bay, everybody knows I do not like Ronald Jones, but Ronald Jones has had back-to-back games with, the best matchups you can have against running backs. 4 running backs with Chicago and Green Bay, who both struggle against the running back. Not the best, because obviously Carolina and Atlanta are also really bad. But I really think this is like a 50-50. But I would like to know if Alexander is going to be shadowing Mike Evans, or if he also goes into the slot and could follow Godwin around some. But I lean Juju a little bit in this game. I think his touchdown upside is a little bit higher with Deontay out. I think his PPR upside is up a little bit with Deontay out. So I'm leaning Juju. 1 QB, Deshaun Watson or Andy Dalton. This is easily Watson for me. After the struggles at the beginning of the year, he has been good. And anybody that gets out from under the Bill O'Brien coaching and play calling is in a better spot than they were the day before. And that's where Watson's at now. I'm going Watson.
Yeah, I agree. Watson's an elite talent, just might not have the best offensive line, and his head coach got rid of the best wide receiver, or arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, but he's still producing. He's got still got good wide receivers to throw to, so I'm gonna go with Watson until he's gonna be elite for a long time.
Trey over on YouTube says, bro, once again, you guys are one of the most knowledgeable people out there. Would you start Sanders, Madison, Gaskins, Gurley, Jefferson in the 2? So I think he's saying I need 2 running backs and 1 flex for PPR. Okay. Miles Sanders and Alexander Madison are your 2 running backs. Then when it comes to the PPR or the flex, I'm going Gurley. So I'm going Sanders, Madison, Gurley. I'm sitting Gaskins and Jefferson.
Absolutely. I agree completely. And I'm happy with starting them too.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy. I'm happy starting any of those 5 this week. I will say that.
Right.
Like, you don't have a bad play there, but I like those 3 significantly better than the other 2 this week. Jefferson is the question mark there for me because he's probably got the most upside outside of Madison and Sanders, and he may even have more than them. In this matchup, Atlanta is really bad against wide receivers. But if you need the ceiling, I could see sitting Gurley and playing Jefferson. I'll say that. Okay. So this is a little bit different. It's the same person asking 1 QB: Deshaun Watson, Andy Dalton, or Joe Burrow. Currently have Watson in, but now second guessing. I'm going Watson still over Joe Burrow and Andy Dalton. Thomas says Henderson or Swift, half PPR, and this is where the shit gets real, right? We've been talking about all these great ones that we get to choose from where you're not really wrong for sitting this guy or that guy. This is fantasy football. When you get down, when you're in that trouble spot and you have to choose between Daryl Henderson or DeAndre Swift. I know there were some things about Peterson early in the week, but I'm pretty sure he's not out. I'm pretty sure he's playing. Or this would be an easy DeAndre Swift, right?
Right.
It's probably still easy DeAndre Swift for me because he's the one that's going to get some PPR, and even though it's only half PPR, we don't know. Henderson's literally had 1 week, and he's not the best running back on his team. DeAndre Swift might be the best running back on his team, even if you don't like him, like me. I'm not a big DeAndre Swift fan. But in the pass game, he's very good. And, despite his dropped passes in week 1. I'm going DeAndre Swift here.
Yeah, so to me it's very even because DeAndre Swift has caught more passes than he's ran so far this year. And still hasn't caught like a ton of passes, but with me, I'm gonna go with Henderson. It seems like they like him more than all the other running backs there, even when they're healthy at this point in time. They do. I'm telling you, they give him the ball in the red zone. He's got more touchdown upside, I think.
They do not like him more than they like Cam Akers.
Well, right now he's not. Didn't he out-touch Cam Akers last week?
Well, yeah, but Cam Akers was coming back off of an injury last week.
Yeah, so but I think like right now, I think Cam Akers is the guy for the future. But I think they're just going to run with the 3 running backs. I like Daryl Henderson just because
$5 bet today that Cam Akers gets more touches than Daryl Henderson. You can think about it. You can let me know here in a little bit.
Let me look at some stuff here. Go ahead.
We got questions. We got questions. We got to answer. Phantom Gaming says, which 3 wide receivers would you pick? Anderson, Robert Woods, Claypool, A.J. Brown. We need 3 of those guys. First and foremost, I will say this one is going to depend a little bit on whether you need floor or ceiling for me when I answer this one. But I'll let you go ahead and start that one off, Bryce. Which one are you sitting?
Anderson, A.J. Brown,
Woods, Claypool.
Okay, so now I see why you're saying floor and ceiling. I'm gonna sit Claypool in this. The way I play is I don't really go for. So far right now, Claypool has already had the best game that he's gonna probably have in his career. Those other guys just get a consistent targets throughout their career, and Claypool's a rookie, so I'd have to see it more than 1 week for me to start him. But I guess you could start 2 and then put in Claypool and hope he has another big week. But I'm gonna sit Claypool.
Yeah, I'm sitting Claypool as well, but it's not as easy as I would like it to be. How many times have we seen this in Pittsburgh, where they draft a guy later? Nobody was really excited about that player, and then they explode and have great careers, right? I mean,
Right.
Claypool right now reminds me of what they wanted and how they used Martavis Bryant. That big-bodied receiver, red zone, big playability. That's their Martavis Bryant that they would probably still have in their offense if he didn't get high all the time.
Right.
Like, that's why he's not in Pittsburgh, not because they didn't like him or he wasn't any good. Yeah, I would sit Robert Woods if I needed that ceiling. Is what I was getting at when I first started reading this.
Yeah.
Would you start Cam Akers? Paul says. That's the other question, right? Like, I don't want to start Daryl Henderson, but I don't really want to start Cam Akers either until it's clear that Cam Akers has overtaken that backfield. I'm not saying Henderson's not going to get any touches. He hasn't been good with the touches outside of 1 week. Like, he had one really, 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 really good week, and then he's had some really bad weeks too.
Right.
So am I starting Cam Akers? Not if I don't have to.
I'd have to be real thin on bye weeks and injuries to have to resort to that. But
Matthew over on YouTube says, pick 2, Mostert, Miles Sanders, Montgomery, Singletary, full PPR. This one, I'm going Miles Sanders and David Montgomery.
yes, I am too. I don't like benching Mostert, but the matchup for Sanders is just almost too good to pass up. So I'm going to go with those two.
You mean the matchup for Montgomery?
I'm sorry. Yes, I mean the matchup for Montgomery.
Because the one for Sanders is easy to pass up in most weeks for most running backs.
Right.
But,
right.
I knew exactly what you meant when you said that, so I wanted to correct that. But Montgomery's matchup. But the other thing that people are forgetting is that Montgomery's usage in the passing game also went up. And I said this beginning of the year, Montgomery benefits from Cohen being out, but Cohen didn't when everybody was like leveling Cohen up when Montgomery looked like he might miss time. Like it's not the same. Montgomery benefits a lot. He's been used in the passing game. Go ahead, Bryce. I'll be here when you get back.
Alrighty.
You're never benching Miles Sanders. You're not doing that. I've been offered Lamar Jackson, Mike Williams, Anthony Miller, and a 2021 second for Fournette, Jefferson, and Ayuk. Currently, I don't have a pick until 2023. Non-PPR, non-super flex. So I've been offered Lamar Jackson, Mike Williams, Anthony Miller, and a 2021 second for Fournette, Jefferson, and Ayuk. Non-PPR, non-super flex. Good, I'm glad you're back because I have a question that I need help with.
Cool.
This guy says I've been offered Lamar Jackson, Mike Williams, Anthony Miller, and a 2021 second for Leonard. He's still going to be a first-round price, which kind of offsets Jefferson. So basically, you're doing Williams, Miller, and a second for Fournette and Ayuk, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, that sounds pretty even to me.
Had to work through that one. That was a good question.
Yeah.
Who would you start? This is for Rob over on YouTube. And Rob Kane has become a very loyal viewer for the Roto Heat channel. We appreciate that, Rob. Who would you start, Mixon or Taylor at running back, full PPR? I'm starting Mixon just because his usage over the last 2 weeks is actually, well, really the whole season, but the last 2 weeks with the passing game being involved it makes me more comfortable starting him, even though Taylor has a pretty good matchup this week. That's a good problem to have, though. Sway. I was going to say the whole name, but I don't know what it is. Sway over on YouTube says, which two should I start in the flex? Drake, Singletary, Slayton, Freeman, Hardman, Fulgham, Preston Williams, 0.5 PPR. See, this guy's actually got decisions.
Yeah. So I think I know Drake for sure is going to be one of them.
Drake, I'm starting for sure.
And then you said Fulgham, Slayton,
Singletary, Slayton, Freeman, Hardman, Fulgham, and Preston Williams. I'm omitting everybody not named. Probably Singletary, Slayton, and Williams.
Yeah.
Freeman, Hardman, and Fulgham, I'm probably moving them
to get
out.
them out of the way.
So then it just comes down to floor is Singletary, because we know he's going to get carries. We know we know that. And he's probably going to get some receptions because they're playing against the Chiefs, who put pressure on the quarterback, so we're probably going to see some dump-offs. And that could be a high-scoring game. So Singletary's in the lead for me. It's probably Drake and Singletary for me. If I need upside, then I'm probably going Slayton. And Williams probably gets pushed out here too, and it comes down between Singletary and Slayton.
Yeah, I don't mind Preston Williams. I think he's got a good matchup as well, but he's got to be a little bit more consistent here. Like you said, he came off that that injury and came back kind of fast. So I think the safe play is definitely Singletary. They're going to use him in the pass game, but Slayton could have that game where he gets 2 touchdowns out of nowhere. If you really want to go for that ceiling, you got to go with Slayton. But I'm going Singletary as well.
All right, thanks, Sway. Jurassic, our boy Craig has a good one here.
Okay.
Don't mess it up.
Okay.
Rodgers, Watson, Kyler. We need 2 of those in a superflex. Have fun with that.
Okay, Kyler for sure.
Oh.
I like Kyler for sure this week. Because you got the rushing upside with Kyler Murray, and then he's going against the worst defense in the NFL. Well, it's either the Falcons or the Cowboys. Worst defense in the NFL, Cowboys. So Kyler for me is a for sure start. I think that I'm going to go with. I think Aaron Rodgers coming off a bye week is going to be on his A game for the 4:00 game. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray.
It's really tough for me because I also want to start Rodgers, but I want to take that rushing upside. Watson isn't getting nearly as much as Kyler, but man, if Aaron Jones scores 2 touchdowns, then Rodgers probably gets outscored by Watson, and we know that.
It could be 2 receiving touchdowns though.
Well, it could be. It could be. I'm basically I'm gonna put all 3 names in a hat, and I'm gonna pick 2 of them out. You have first world fantasy problems. I'm probably going Kyler and Watson though, to be honest with you. A little bit of that rushing upside, rushing touchdown upside, and I think they all have passing touchdown upside. Probably Watson and Rodgers more than Kyler, but yeah, I'm. Reset or targets every week, and that's what's been going on. So I like that floor that Hollywood also gives you with the upside, but Kupp is the best play out of the 3, I think. M9 over on YouTube says, should I start Zach Ertz or Tonyan from the Packers? This is a great question. This is a great question because everybody's talking about Tanyan being the fool's gold this week, right? Because of matchup and whatever not. But he's still got an all-world quarterback. And the dude's an athletic freak.
They both have bad matchups, too.
Do what?
They both have bad matchups.
True. But
yeah.
Ertz is the perennial top 3 tight end that has failed week over week over week this year. And people don't know what to do with him. And we've been saying that Zach Ertz, you could see the trends. If you looked outside of just the box scores, going as last season progressed, this is what it didn't look like it was going to be this bad. But we saw a big regression for Ertz in those underlying analytics. And that's where a lot of people look at the box scores and they see what they see. And they go off of that. You got to dig deeper. It doesn't all show. I saw a big regression coming for Ertz, but not this bad, right? But it's so hard to start him right now.
Right.
And when we look at the whole landscape of tight ends, like, we know it's very variant, right? Anybody can get shut down on any week. We saw Kittle last week. I'm going to keep bringing it up because it lost me a lot of money. and it hurts. It stinks. But, that happens. But I'm probably going Ertz. I'm probably starting Ertz here. And I don't love it. But I'm probably starting Ertz.
I'm going to go the other way. I know they both had bad matchups, and I don't really like Robert Tonyan for this week, but I think when it comes to the matchups they have as well, I'm going to go with whoever has the better quarterback. They both could have less than 3 receptions, but I think Robert Tonyan has just so much more touchdown upside with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback in that offense. So I'm going to go with Tonyan, but to me it's very close.
Yeah, it's The thing that I'm wondering, the thing that kind of tilts it for me is that not only does Tanyan have the matchup, but Devontae Adams is back.
Right.
How does that influence everything? That's the difference maker for me. Okay. Devontae Parker or Henderson, standard league. This is for Sauce over on YouTube. Devontae Parker, easily for me.
Yeah, easily.
Sam says Tannehill or Minshew. This is an interesting one. I like this one.
I did too. I'm going to go with – it's also a little bit dependent on if DJ Shark plays because that's a pretty big weapon for the Jaguars. But even then, Tannehill's just been extremely – he might not give you, ever put up the top quarterback points, but he's so consistent that he's hard to shy away from. So I'm gonna go with Ryan Tannehill, but I wouldn't blame you if DJ Shark plays and you throw in Minshew.
You know that since – and I don't know all the specific numbers, but somebody else that I pay a lot of attention to was talking about this week. Since joining the Titans, if you took Tannehill's and Mahomes per pass averages, they're very, very similar. That's how good Tannehill has played since going to Tennessee. And everybody said last year, he couldn't follow up last year. He couldn't be that efficient. He's basically doing it. He's been very efficient. Has good weapons. I'm going Tannehill easily over Minshew. Minshew has played a lot better. A guy that I didn't care for going into this year, but he has played a lot better than I expected. I think he's had I think he scored 20 points all but 1 week this year. So been very good, but I'm going Tannehill. I think he's the better quarterback with the best 2 passing options probably. When you're talking about Jonnu and AJ Brown. Is Chark out? Let's see if you can find that news. I think somebody said he was out. Let's see if we can find that. Do I start CEH or Jay Taylor? Nick over on YouTube asks.
Taylor
for me as well. Jason donates $3.99. and says pick one. DeAndre Swift, Claypool, Shenault. Swift is not in this question for me. I'm not starting a Detroit Lion running back until that Detroit Lion running back is the only one alive. So Swift's out. So it comes down to Claypool and Shenault, and this is going to be the classic. Do I need upside or do I need the floor? Shenault is the floor play here. Probably going to get you 7 or 8 targets, maybe more, if we get this news on Chark being out. Which we should get it anyway within the next 30 minutes or so. But even with Chark in, Shenault has a floor. So if I feel like I need the floor, I'm going Shenault. He's probably the better play. He's the best play out of these three. If I need the big ceiling with Deontay Johnson out, I'm going with Claypool. And that Swift isn't even considered for me. What do you say to Swift, Claypool, Shenault?
Yeah, I agree with you. If you're really thinking about a floor, Shenault's has been consistently getting a decent amount of targets and volume, but I just think it'd be fun to put in Claypool at this spot. Hopefully, if your matchup looks like it could be close and you really needed a win and you want to be safe, Shenault is your best option. But I would go Claypool if you feel like you can kind of afford to take that little bit of a risk.
Oh, I can't argue with that. Thank you again, Jason. We appreciate the donation, and we hope that helped you out. Marco over on Facebook says, Ben or Stafford today? That's a tough one.
So, the Steelers play the Browns, right?
Yes.
Isn't that who they play?
Steelers get the Browns.
Right. And then the Lions got the Jaguars. I'm gonna go with Big Ben. That's a division game. I believe. I know home games might not matter too much right now with the stadiums not being allowed everybody, but it still plays a factor. I'm gonna go with Big Ben playing at home against a big division rival.
I want to go Big Ben, but something tells me, do you remember that game where Ryan Fitzpatrick just chewed the Jacksonville defense up? That's what I see Matt Stafford doing, and I really want to play him this week, but I'm going. I am going with Stafford. So we've got a toss up there, guys. Who are you starting this week, Stafford or Roethlisberger? Drop it in the chat and help our boy Marcos out, because we have a stalemate here. Top Secret says, grade my trade. Gave away Jonnu Smith and Antonio Gibson for Stephon Diggs. PPR, still have Kelsey, JT, and James Robinson. That's an A. That's an A.
Yeah,
it's an A trade.
I love Jonnu Smith. I love Jonnu Smith a lot. I think he is going to be a top 5 tight end going forward, but Stephon Diggs is a beast, and you already have that tight end position pretty covered, especially if you're making a push this year. That's a good wide receiver to acquire. Yep. Yeah, I like it. Could benefit both teams, though, I would say.
I think it's an A for sure. And I mean, if it was a tight end premium, then you might start Jonnu and Kelsey, but you're never starting Jonnu over Kelsey in a one tight end, and you don't want to be starting 2 tight ends in that either. And Stephon Diggs is we talked about this preseason, right? Stephon Diggs, that match, people didn't really like that match that was made when he went to Buffalo, but it was that's the perfect spot for Diggs. He is a great route runner, a great separator, and a great deep ball receiver. And Josh Allen loves throwing that deep ball, and it has been gold since going there. I love it. Love Diggs. Good trade. Good trade. Crown Trend over on YouTube says full PPR, Robbie Anderson or Ronald Jones in my flex.
I'm going Robbie Anderson. Ronald Jones has had 2 good weeks, but this game doesn't look like that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might be able to run the ball a lot. Should be a higher scoring game in theory. So I'm gonna go with Robbie Anderson.
It pains me to my soul.
Oh my gosh,
to say Ronald Jones right now, but we've talked about this. Chicago doesn't give up points to wide receivers, and they've played some good wide receivers this year. And a broken coverage here by Robbie, could get Robbie Anderson loose, and he could have a big play, no doubt about it. But Ronald Jones is probably still going to get 15 carries this week against a run defense that's not very strong, has some TD upside there. Until Leonard Fournette is fully healthy, and while Tampa Bay is playing bad run defenses, I see it, and that's also still, even though he drops 3 passes a game, he's still getting targeted 6 times. I don't love it. It doesn't make me feel good, but I think I got to go Ronald Jones here, and it pains me to my core. Pains me. And then I'll be screaming later today, right? The answer is never Ronald Jones, and I know this, and I keep getting fooled by it. Every time I trust a little bit in this guy, it fails miserably. But I'm starting Ronald Jones in that spot here. So, guys, we are getting to all your questions. We go straight in order unless somebody donates. We move those to the top of the list, but we will get to your questions, so make sure you hang out and get those. We aren't ignoring anybody. Sonny says start CD Lamb or AJ Brown in my flex, which is followed up by Paul saying good problem to have.
Yeah, very good problem to have. Oh my gosh.
I'm starting AJ Brown.
Yeah, I am too, but man, CD Lamb is just having one heck of a year right now. He's probably on track to be offensive rookie of the year. Can't imagine anybody right now ahead of him. Joe Burrow could, just as he's a quarterback, could end up getting there. But CD Lamb is a beast, and I would hate to put him on my bench. But AJ Brown right now in his second year, finally healthy for the first or second game this past week, did exactly what I thought he'd be doing, and that's catching passes and catching touchdowns. And I think with the way Tannehill's playing and him being the best wide receiver and Corey Davis being out, I'm going to go A.J. Brown as pretty much a starter every week unless I have super good wide receivers.
Absolutely. Jeff Holland says, hey guys, hope all is well. Quick question, Gallaudet, Crowder, or Parker, half PPR? My answer is always Gallaudet, unless it's there's probably 6 wide receivers that I would consider starting over him, to be completely honest, especially this week in this matchup. I'm going Gallaudet.
Yeah, I agree. He's an elite talent, so it's hard. You can't bench your stud.
It is hard to sit Crowder. I don't even know. I think he hasn't scored less than 22 points, fantasy points, I think, this year, something like that. Maybe 19 in regular. I might be thinking DraftKings points. So the bonus, 3 points for 100-yard games, maybe got him to 22, but still, he's been very productive in the games he's played. Jason Abold says Dobbins or Burkhead. Burkhead.
Yeah.
Burkhead. Dobbins, better player. Burkhead, better usage.
Yep.
Shout out to you guys. I play in 5 leagues. My worst record's 3-2, undefeated, and 4-1 in the rest. Rob?
Nice.
If we played a small part in that, we're very happy for that, and we appreciate you coming by all the time, man. You come by. What was that?
I said we'll take a cut of those winnings too, since we did a part.
Yeah. I am not. I'm neither a beggar nor somebody to turn down money, right? Right. I will take all the monies. I will take all the monies. So I appreciate the donations, and And then if you want to donate in the leagues we play in together, I completely appreciate that, and I'll take those winnings. Thank you very much. Sata Walcott. I hope I say all these names right, by the way. Aaron Jones, Mike Davis, Alexander Madison. I just picked him up. Which two do I start? Please help. I'm losing my mind.
All right, Aaron Jones is 100%, no question.
Aaron Jones and Mike Davis are both 100%.
Yep.
I mean, Madison's great. If you can start all three, you start all three. But Mike Davis is like 80% of Christian McCaffrey, if not more. Like, that dude is doing everything that McCaffrey did. And
dude, he looks amazing. He looks amazing. And it's not like any running back would do well in that system. Mike Davis is breaking tackles. He's getting yards after contact. He looks like he could start on almost every team in the NFL besides a select few. What a situation he's been put in. He's capitalizing on it so well. He's a fun guy to watch too. Got to start him.
Yep, I'm going with Jones and Davis pretty easily. Alexander Madison's a great play, but I just think those two guys are just too good. The usage is too good to pass up. And Sam says, start all of them, Sata. Why are you sitting one of them?
So I have an update on DJ Chark. This is from CBS Sports. As of midnight, technically this
that don't count. I'll pull up Twitter. Right. You need to get on Twitter, for one.
All right. Well, it says by RotoWire.
Well, yeah, but midnight, just too late.
Well, then there was another one at 9:16 that said he's listed as a game time decision, but there were a lot of reports from Pelissero reported that he is likely to play, and so did Adam Schefter. Said he was likely to play. So that's from CBSSports.com, and they use those two insiders as their references to say that DJ Chark should be playing today.
3 minutes.
But it doesn't mean he won't.
3 minutes ago, DJ Chark active.
All right, there we go. Well, I should get Twitter.
That is what I'm seeing so far on Twitter. I'll keep an eye on that just to make sure, but it looks like he is active. Evan over on YouTube says Newton, Cousins, Stafford. Pick one.
Newton.
Stafford.
I may be biased, but I like Newton, especially with the rushing upside.
I love Stafford with the 300-yard, 3 TD upside in this game.
Fair.
I want Newton when the Patriots are not favored, and not heavy favorites, right? Because then he doesn't throw and he doesn't run, and then that hurts.
Lock is back this week.
Yeah, but still.
So that hurts.
Sada says, thanks for the advice, and no problem at all. Jacob says, full PPR, Cup, Robbie Anderson, Claypool. Please pick two.
Full PPR, Cup, Robbie Anderson, Claypool. I'm going with Cup and Robbie Anderson.
I am as well. I know we've talked about that matchup, but still, Claypool. He's had 2 good weeks this year. It's not just been one. So let's clarify that. But I'm still going Robbie Anderson, who's been good every week. Claypool's that guy that I'm starting in spots where what's the word I'm looking for? Where I need immense upside and don't have other options, I guess I should say.
Gotcha.
Thomas says Stafford quite easily for me, which is funny because Paul named the other 2 out of the 3. I think it's Stafford quite easily as well. Daryl Henderson or Ernest Johnson. Now, here's a backup running back question. This one is a legit one. And
yeah, it is.
Here's the difference, right? I'm starting Daryl Henderson here, even though I don't like it, ahead of Ernest Johnson. But Ernest Johnson has a matchup that's tough, plus an all-world running back in front of him in Kareem Hunt. Like, Kareem Hunt is you
Yeah.
know, he's a starting running back on every team but the one he's on, basically. minus what?
Yeah.
We've got Dallas and Carolina.
Kamara.
And well, yeah, but
Yeah,
if he was with Kamara, they would just be both of them.
Yeah. They're very
Both
similar
of them
backs.
would catch 8 passes, right? That would just help Drew Brees because Drew Brees wouldn't have to throw it further than 5 yards the entire game. Yeah, I would go there, and I do want to back up. Paul says Cup and Claypool in regards to the Cup Anderson Claypool. Like I don't fault you if you do that. Carl, you gotta be, you guys gotta be patient with us. We got a lot of questions. I'm coming around. We will get to all of them. But yeah, Daryl Henderson for me against Ernest Johnson. Don't love it, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. Sam over on YouTube says Jonnu Smith versus Debo Samuel versus T. Higgins for my flex spot. I'm thinking about just plugging in Jonnu there. I plug in Jonnu there. I don't love playing 2 tight ends if I don't have to, but I think Jonnu is your best play right there.
Yeah, I don't mind playing 2 tight ends if it's Jonnu, but yeah, like he's going to get more targets than both those guys more than likely. So I'm going to go with him.
Your boy Drew over on YouTube says start 2 PPR Julio, Scary Terry, Devontae Parker, Claypool, and Boyd. If I'm starting 2 here PPR, I said it earlier. If Julio's active, I'm starting him until he proves, without a doubt, that he's not startable. Julio's in there. I'm going Devontae Parker after that. I think he's got guaranteed looks and a good matchup. I like Scary Terry the player better, but I don't like his quarterback.
Fair.
I'm going with Devontae Parker and Julio myself.
Okay, so definitely Julio. That was the easy part. I'm gonna have to go the other way. I think I am all over Scary Terry. I know the quarterback situation's not much better, but they are gonna have to throw the ball, and there's really not much else to throw to than Scary Terry. So I think he sees a lot more targets, and usually with more targets, hopefully, comes more efficiency out of it. So I'm gonna go with Scary Terry, but it's close. So
well, if we're talking just pure targets, Tyler Boyd's on that list too.
Yes, yeah, he is too, but I don't like the matchup with against the Colts, and I think you can take the matchup into consideration when you're talking about some of these tier receivers.
Yeah, definitely not arguing. Tacky T over on YouTube says PPR Jonnu Smith versus Bengals or Tyler Boyd versus the Colts.
I'm gonna go with Tyler Boyd here. I think he sees more. I know the matchup isn't great, but he's good.
Don't you love when they do that to you?
Yeah,
right?
They make me sound like
and is it being a fantasy analyst just the greatest thing ever? They ask you a question and you basically say, "I don't like this guy," and then the next question they put it in it's where you like that guy. And that's what the difference is, though, is, you know, especially by position, right? Tight end is just so volatile. Tyler Boyd sees enough targets that while he has a bad matchup, he might have lower touchdown upside, but he sees enough PPR value. So when you're talking to PPR, I'm also going Tyler Boyd in this in this question as well. But it's so funny. Timing is amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. AMC Edit says, who should I start in my wide receiver 2? AJ Brown or Devontae Parker?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown for me as well.
Yeah.
AJ Brown for me as well. Love having you all here. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss any time we go live. During the season, we go live Tuesday, Wednesday nights at 9:30 Eastern. Tuesday night is Dynasty. Wednesday night is Redraft. Sunday morning, 10 a.m. every Sunday. We go live as well. So, yeah, hit that notification button. subscribe, hit that like button, and thank you. Swervin says, should I accept Claypool for Fournette and Jefferson? I give Claypool. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Swervin, you should trade Claypool for Fournette and Jefferson. Good trade for you. Swervin says, I'm new to fantasy. What does dynasty mean? So dynasty and redraft are two terms you're going to hear in fantasy. Dynasty is where you keep your team year to year and you build like a franchise, like you own an NFL team. Redraft is where every season you draft all your players. Then there's some stuff that's in between, like a keeper league where you may keep like 4 players or 8 players, certain amount of players from your roster the previous year. And then there's all kinds of different types of rules and stuff, but that is the general and short answer to that. Connor says, Mostert or Jonathan Taylor for my flex full PPR?
I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor.
I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor as well. But Swervin, I will say I'm trading Claypool for Jefferson and Fournette in a redraft or a dynasty.
Absolutely.
I would do that trade. Swerve, Justin gonna continue to be good and develop Fournette for playoffs. Yep, absolutely. Carl is on right there. Brandon Alexander over on YouTube says Wentz, Keenan Allen, or Kyle Allen. Come here. What are you doing? Look, you gotta say hi to everybody. Say hi. Wave at the camera. They can all hear you and see you. Say hi. No? You shy now? You get shy all of a sudden? What did you need?
We need that toy image with the flash on the table.
You need toys on the table? Something? You talk too fast, kid. Let me finish up, okay?
Yeah.
Love you. All right. Distracted there. Brandon Alexander, Wentz, Kyle Allen, or Joe Burrow at Superflex?
Not Kyle Allen.
It goes Burrow, Wentz, Kyle Allen for me in that order. I don't know if you need one or if you need one spot or 2 spots picked, but I go Burrow, Wentz, Kyle Allen. I keep saying Keenan Allen, but it's Kyle Allen. Unreleased leaks and snippets says Hardman, Judy, or Gallup.
Gallup.
Gallup for me as well. Okay, so first of all, I have to do this only because there's stuff in the chat, and I want to make sure it's clear that Wentz 1 has been bad, and has a bad matchup as well. But Burrow throws too many times for fantasy to not give credit for that, even in a bad matchup. So the dude's thrown up to 61 passes in a game. Like, that's just ridiculous. The volume's too high. We are going to be jumping off of here in 20 minutes. So if you have questions, make sure you get those in here. Yes, all of our games are scheduled. It's the easiest week so far for me as a commissioner. I'm so happy we made it through. Once we got to like Friday, I knew like a game wasn't going to be like pushed back any. It was going to be canceled for this week. So I had a big sigh of relief as a commissioner after that. Hakeem Butler is active for the Eagles, apparently. Playing tight end for the Eagles. Okay, here's my question. I've been saying Zach Ertz could be done because of Goddard, but if Hakeem Butler comes in and outscores Zach Ertz today, is that the end of Zach Ertz?
I thought at the beginning of this year it was Dallas Goddard, and obviously injury prevented that, but I think it's still evident, even with him injured, that Zach Ertz might not be the guy anymore. I mean, this happens a lot for tight ends. You saw it with Gronkowski. It's like tight ends are like elite tier, and then they just kind of fall off a cliff sometimes. And that seems like what happened to Gronk, and it seems like what's kind of happening to Zach Ertz. So I already think he's not the guy anymore. But so it wouldn't surprise me if Hakeem Butler came in and outproduced Zach Ertz in this game. So
We had a question.
that's just my opinion. I'm down on him.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Over on Facebook, somebody said Henderson or Chark PPR. It's Chark for me.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
Just want to say this is such an awesome stream and great chat community. Subbed and I'll be back for sure. Sam, if you want more of this, I will drop it again. But we are all these guys, me, Bryce, and you've seen Paul answer a lot, and Craig and our Jurassic. All these guys are in our Discord community as well, and we are talking 24/7 about everything, not just football, but hobbies and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that Discord link in the chat, so you can go ahead and join that. I got to get back up here and find my spot with these questions. There we go. Sam, we appreciate it, man. Like I said, we're live 3 nights a week and 3 days a week right now, and in 4 days. And I want to let everybody know, if you play Dynasty, right now we are putting together a very extensive rookie draft guide for 2021. And we're very excited about the stuff we're doing. We're doing stuff that nobody else is doing. We wanted to make sure to bring something unique to everybody for your 2021 rookie drafts. So that's going to start dropping. We're trying to get it out to start as soon as possible. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and with season and everything else, it gets a little tough at times, but that is ahead. That will be for patrons of our Patreon page, because the work that goes into that is extensive. So I will have information for that coming very, very soon. But Sam, we appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. That means a lot. And liking and subbing is a free way to give back for all the hard work that the entire RotoHeat team puts in. RotoHeat.com too, guys. I mean, there's articles, in-depth articles on a bunch of stuff there. Whether you're playing IDP, Devi, Redraft, or Superflex, Dynasty. Like, it's all there. Check it out. Josh says, Tyler Higbee or Dalton Schultz, half PPR.
Has Tyler Higbee had any other game besides that one big one?
No. Tyler Higbee was my
Dalton
biggest
Schultz.
sell of the offseason. Like, that.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Dalton Schultz.
I'm going Schultz here too. I think it is 50-50. It is a great question, but I'm going Dalton Schultz here in the offense, the better offense. Yeah, I don't even know if Tyler Higbee's the number one tight end on his team, right?
Yeah, Everett seems to get a lot more catches.
Yeah, I think Everett's actually the better receiver, but when there's only one of them, then, that's good for whichever one it is. It's just not good right now for Higbee. Paul, MFL gave that to you because there's a setting in there that allows COVID guys, and for some reason it wasn't on. I think I had multiple leagues get reset. I think MFL reset multiple of my IR settings as a commissioner this week for some reason, because somebody else had Damian Williams giving them an IR violation after 5 weeks in one of the 96 team leagues. So yeah. Shark or Henderson PPR, Connor says it's Chark. It's not Henderson. We've actually had that one before, but it's Chark easily.
Agreed.
Okay, Robin says CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson. PPR.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb for me as well. Both of them are great young guys. I can't wait to watch them. Continue. Edelman or Lamb in my flex this week, PPR. I'm going CD Lamb there as well.
Yep. Pains me to do it, but
Curtis Samuel is out. Does that change anything for you on Robbie and DJ Moore? Not really, because if I really liked one of those guys, it was Curtis Samuel, because he was back to running those short to intermediate routes and a lot out of the slot. But I think Robbie and DJ now, I think that kind of hurts them, because now it's Jalen and Fuller, like, mostly nonstop on Robbie and DJ Moore, and that's what's been the strong point of the Bears defense so far this year. Somebody saying Dobbins is out? And then somebody said Dobbins is not out. So, I mean, the Bears' run D isn't garbage, but that's where people are going to attack them. I mean, the Bears only give up 4 yards per rush, but it's just when the pass defense is that good, the run is where they're going to be attacked, and there's going to be more volume in that area. They were trash last week when they gave up 114 yards to Ronald Jones, and I'm getting messages from buddies like, obviously Ronald Jones has to have a good game against your Bears just to double needle you, like put one in each eye.
Yep.
That's all the questions we've got. We got caught up. That's
Sweet.
nice. That's nice. Man, I got lineups to do. Listen, I don't know where we at on this DraftKings contest.
We got one spot left.
Only one spot left. All right.
Yep, I just made mine in there. I was the 19th. I almost forgot to enter. I forgot last week, I think.
Am I not? Why does it tell me to make a lineup? I thought I already put one in.
Yours is in there.
Okay.
You're right below me.
I know, right? Like, it's so funny because he's just not a good NFL player, and he makes mistakes all the time, but when he plays my team, he has to, like, be perfect for a game. Like, that's the only perfect game he's played in his career.
Yeah, he really, I mean.
And he did
I don't
it,
know.
and he had to do it against my team. But we got the dub. We got the dub, so I'm happy, and we all know, right? Every fantasy football analyst knows, like, you're going to have these moments. You can't avoid it. If I'm going to give you my honest opinion on people, I'm going to be wrong a good portion of the time. It's just, we don't know. We say this a lot, right? We say, it's one of our favorite things, Roto Heat team, since for 2 years, 3 years now, is we don't know half of what we think we know. The NFL is ever changing, and we take the information we've got and we try to make the best of it. And the NFL is bad players can have great games and great stretches. It's possible. I mean, Mike Davis is not as good as what his numbers look, right? He's not that good of a running back. He's not an all-world running back, and that's the kind of numbers he's putting up. So that stuff happens. Need to sit one, full PPR. This is for Matt Daly over on YouTube. Needs to sit one, full PPR. Julio Jones, Jamison Crowder, Juju, or Cooper Kupp. He needs to sit one.
Julio Jones, Jamison Crowder, Juju, or Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
You would think talent-wise he would have to be Jamison Crowder, but I don't know if I can sit him the way he's been playing.
I'm sitting Juju.
I think so, too. I think I got to sit Juju, and I hate it, but...
And our boy Craig, right, he's been a Crowder guy forever, and I used to say, like, last year I was like, dude, Jamison Crowder, I can't play him in, like, DFS because the upside isn't there. But he showed upside this year. He's getting so many targets.
A lot of it.
So many targets. I'm sitting Juju, and I'm playing Cooper Kupp, Julio Jones, and Jamison Crowder.
Yeah. I think it definitely came down to sitting either Kupp or Juju there.
Yeah, for me it did. Full PPR, wide receiver start. McLaurin, Jarvis, or John Brown?
Start McLaurin, Jarvis, or John Brown.
Yeah.
I'm going to start McLaurin.
I probably go with McLaurin as well. This is for Irvin over on YouTube, by the way. Then he says, QB, start Ben or Fitzmagic? I'm starting Fitzmagic.
I'm going to go, Fitzmagic.
This dude literally won even a game he did, like, what was it, 2 games ago or 3 games ago? He did not throw a touchdown, but he still scored 26 fantasy points, or 23 fantasy points. I always get mixed up between DK and regular, PPR or whatever, but he put up 300 yards, rushed one in, and still found his way to 20-plus points without throwing a touchdown. That's Fitzmagic, baby. I'm going with Fitzmagic in a great matchup against the Jets. He could have 4 touchdown passes by the time we get to the second quarter.
Or 4 picks. One of the
Or 4 picks. and then he still puts up 30-plus points for you.
And rushes 4 more touchdowns. Yeah, who knows?
I'm going with Fitzmagic there. But I mean, it's literally splitting hairs in between Big Ben and Fitzmagic though. So it's go with your gut there. Emery says start 2 half PPR Mixon, JT, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin.
Mixon and JT.
Same here.
This could be JT's big game. I think this might be it.
Thomas says Jonas Gray is the ultimate proof that we know nothing. I know.
Yes, I was at that game. I was there. I know.
I know. Well, think about this, right? If we knew everything we thought we knew, we would have been telling you a week ago to play Chase Claypool and Travis Fulgham.
Right.
Right? We would have told you to sit Travis Kelce, or not Travis Kelce, George Kittle last week.
George Kittle.
We would have.
Kelce was.
We would have told you to sit Zach Ertz every week this year. It is the way it is. Mini Jordan says, good morning, fellas. PPR, pick a wide receiver and flex. Diggs, Swift, Ernest, Judy, OBJ, DJ Chark, DJ Moore. Oh, lots of J's.
He said pick a what? A
wide receiver and a flex. Diggs is in. Okay? He's on a level ahead of the rest of these guys. OBJ is the next in for me. I'm playing Diggs and OBJ. I don't like sitting Chark or Moore, but I just think Diggs and OBJ are the 2 most talented, and with DJ Moore in his with DJ Shark coming off of the injury, I'd rather sit him. And with DJ Moore, terrible matchup, I'm sitting him. It's easily Diggs and OBJ for me here. Bryce?
Yep, I agree.
Bryce
I agree
with everything I say because I know everything. Not really.
Yeah. I was saying it.
That was just a perfect follow-up to the we don't know half the shit we think we know.
Right.
Yeah, so no problem. No problem, Mini Jordan. That's what we're here for. This has been a fun 2 hours. I love it when you guys are asking lots of questions. Keeps it going. And we appreciate all you guys being here. I don't, it's easy for you guys to thank us and whatnot, but we appreciate the support and we're here for you guys. We're not doing this because we want to sit here and talk to nobody. It's great when we have you guys are active and helping us keep the chatter going. We could come up with stuff and talk about it, but we want to answer your questions. It's hard to do that throughout the week. It's hard to do it on the other shows because we do have specific content that we're trying to put out there to answer larger questions, more evergreen questions, whatnot. But when it comes to Sunday morning, it's all about getting the right guys in our lineups. We put our money where our mouth is, and a lot of these guys that you're asking about, I would not sit them if I tell you to play them. Some of the guys I don't have any, but I'm not gonna tell you something that I don't. Oh, that is true, Jason, bringing up Albert Oface making his debut for the Broncos today, Mr. Stand out at the combine this year, tight end with Fant out. That could be, we could see some fun stuff there. Somebody over on Facebook, it just tells me Facebook user for the groups over on Facebook. But start Brait or Schultz.
Schultz.
I'm starting Schultz as well because even if Gronk doesn't look like old Gronk, he still gets a piece of that passing pie for the tight ends there.
Right.
And Schultz is the tight end there in Dallas, and they're likely to keep
really
throwing
close.
a lot. So, yep, I'm going there too. Okay, last couple minutes. If you got a question, get it in there now. We'll get that answered. I've got to enter all my contents. I don't even know. I might go light this week because I don't know if I have time to get in everything I want to get in. But I don't want to because I have. Last week was bad. I want to make up for last week.
Right. Just put 1,000 in there and see what happens.
I mean,
light.
I've been playing around $1,000 a week for the past like 3-4 weeks. But last week was bad. Which I don't mind. I mean, that's gonna happen, right? We can't avoid that. I say it all the time. Oh no, can I get my boom, boom, boom? I hope I got all 3, boom. Okay, I did. There was only, I play this, it's $75 an entry. It's 113 players, entries in it. And there was 110 when I seen it. So I had to get the last 3 spots, and I'd have been sick to my stomach if I didn't get in there.
Still one more spot in the RotoHeat one.
All right, I'll drop that. If anybody plays DFS. We have 1 spot left. I just dropped the link in the chat if you want to take that spot. Matt Reiner, Big Ben, somebody says. I'm going Big Ben. We got to be quick on these.
I'm going to go Matt Ryan.
Evan Wheeler's. You went Matt Ryan?
I did. Yeah, I just like the matchup. He's had a bad streak. He's got Julio back. I think could be a good bounce back week for him.
I'm going Big Ben fairly easily there. That surprised me. I had to stop. I was getting ready to read the next question, and I was like, wait, what? I thought you were going Big Ben for sure. Just traded for DK. Traded Jay, Taylor, and Parker. Team is Henry, CH, Montgomery, Gibson, Ridley, Odell, DK, Andrews. Do you like that trade? Start DeMont, Gibson, or Jefferson in the flex. I'm starting DeMont in the flex. I can say that much. I do think you're strong at running back, so I don't mind the trade. I'm assuming this is redraft. I mean, DK right now is...
Yeah, if it's redraft, I really like it. But if it's dynasty, it's hard to tell right now. It seems like it's a good trade on your end. DK Metcalf is definitely very touchdown dependent, but he's getting touchdowns. So,
I mean, that's the thing, right? It's different when somebody's touchdown dependent and only getting like a red zone target every now and then. But when literally since he joined the NFL, he is the leader in red zone targets.
Right. I mean, like how can you,
that's part of his usage, but he's also the guy that can get you a 60-yard touchdown. So there's a lot of stuff there, and he's only going to get better when it comes to running routes and different types of usage. I like him a lot. So redraft, I love it especially with your other running backs that you've got. You've got depth there. I like it. Who are some of the safest cash plays on DraftKings just for the simple double up? Okay, so here's if I was running a strict cash lineup, this is what I would do. I would put Madison. I would probably start my lineup with Madison, Davis, and Montgomery, and then I would build around that. Those are 3 high-owned running backs, all of them close to 30%. All of them going to see heavy usage, and then then fill in from there. Basically, when I build my cash lineup, cash lineups for double ups and stuff like that, I want as much volume at running back as possible. And then if I have two guys that are similarly priced, similar usage, so like this week, I think Madison and Connor are very close together. I'm picking the guy with the usage, and I'm trying to get it down to 1v1s and whatnot, 2v2s in that scenario. So when it comes to wide receiver, I think actually wide receiver and tight end, AJ Brown and Jonnu Smith are two very good cash options this week. Damn, we had some question comes in. It's 12:02. We're going to have to wrap this up quick, guys. We apologize, but I got a bunch of lineups to get set so I don't mess anything up. Which running backs should I target if I were to package DJ Moore and Shark or Judy? I think you can target any running back other than Saquon, CMC. Actually, if this is redraft, probably don't even want to throw them guys in there. I think you can target anybody.
You can still go after CMC. But
you're not going to get him until week 8.
It can't hurt. Yeah, it can't hurt to try. But if you got like a 4-1 start, 5-0, you could try and go get CMC. It'd be good for a late push. But yeah, you could. There's a lot you could get with that.
Miles Sanders versus Baltimore or Devin Singletary against the Chiefs. Miles Sanders every time. You're not sitting Miles Sanders. People said this against Pittsburgh too, right? Just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they wanted to know, do I sit Miles Sanders versus Pittsburgh? No, you don't sit Miles Sanders. He's going to be used in the passing game. He's too good. He's too talented. You do not sit Miles Sanders. No, Jazz, don't. Paul's in the chat telling him to sit Miles Sanders for Devin Singletary. Don't do it. Start your studs. That's what you drafted Miles Sanders for. Miles Sanders, everybody had him as a top 12, picking him at the back end of the first, top end of the second. You do not sit that guy. Play him. Carl, but the thing is that DK isn't. That term is used over the top, right? Being TD dependent. The thing that people are saying though is that like he's getting 3 catches for 100 yards with a touchdown. It's if he misses that touchdown, it changes everything. Though it changes his output a lot. But he is good. All right, we got to call that a day. Got a lot to do here before we get going with the locks. So we appreciate everybody coming by. Remember, start your studs. I'm gonna remind you that one time before we got an hour left before games lock. Start your studs. You didn't draft these guys to bench them. Start them.
Right.
Same thing. Remember, week 1, Thomas will tell you, he's in the chat over there on YouTube. We had this big discussion about Amari Cooper because Ramsey was on him. And start your studs. Point blank. You don't draft them to sit them. Start them. Enjoy it. Enjoy the wins. If you're playing DFS, I hope somebody hits big. If you haven't yet, I'm going to do this one more time. I know we had somebody join us over on Discord. I will stop in there and say hi in just a second. Generate this link here. Discord. Join us on Discord. That is not what was supposed to happen. Copy that again. There we go. Join us on Discord. We'll chat 24/7. We appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Notification bell. Bryce and I will be back on Sunday. You can see me Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern, on the Dynasty Heat Seekers live stream. You can see Bryce again on Wednesday on the Fantasy Inferno at 9:30 Eastern. And we'll have some great stuff coming out this week. We've got our first 2021 rookie mock draft coming from the Devi Hour boys, and all this information coming. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.